He saw my behavior and was a little confused. "Ethan, where are you going?" I didn't look back, just tossed 2 words over my shoulder. "Finding Spring." It wasn't until I was out the door that I unlocked my phone to get a good look at the message Caleb had sent. The moment I saw his name, I had instinctively shot up and left, not even registering what he'd actually written. Now that I saw it clearly, I gripped my phone, my eyes blazing. I threw a few combos at the empty air in front of me, but it did nothing to quell the strange emotion bubbling inside. Damn it. Caleb actually wanted me to bring him a few boxes of that. A real piece of work. Only a dog would do what he said. 10 minutes later, I was standing at Caleb's front door. Look, I didn't want to come, but you know how it is. You can't refuse a request from the young master. After several deep breaths, I raised my hand and typed in the passcode. He had told me the code the first time I came over, but since I couldn't remember it, he changed it to my birthday. A string of familiar numbers, and the door clicked open. I pushed my way in, only to freeze on the spot, stunned by the scene inside. On the massive television screen, a movie not suitable for general audiences was playing. That would have been fine, except the protagonists were 2 men. Caleb was lounging on the sofa, looking completely at ease. He turned his head, saw me, and didn't show the slightest hint of embarrassment, even flashing me a dazzling smile. No way. Couldn't be what I was thinking. Could it? If it weren't for Caleb's status, given the current situation, I would have been the one to take control. And while I was secretly thrilled that I might have guessed his intentions, staying alive was a more beautiful thing than sleeping with a handsome man. Suddenly, the bag in my hand felt scorching hot. I dropped it and bolted. I thought I was fast, but I only made it a few steps before Caleb's long legs caught up to me. I had always been proud of my 6'+ height, but right now, in front of Caleb, I felt almost dainty. He effortlessly slung me over his shoulder, his hand clamping firmly around my waist. I watched helplessly as the front door closed in front of my face. As I struggled, my shirt rode up, and Caleb took the opportunity, his hands slipping underneath without a hint of hesitation. His large palm pressed against my waist, sending a shiver through me. He tossed me onto the sofa. Before I could even react, he pushed his knee between my legs, forcing them apart. Those handsome eyes stared straight into mine. He leaned down, his whole body pressing on top of me. I felt something hard against me and, realizing what it was, my cheeks flushed crimson. I cursed him, calling him a pervert. Caleb didn't deny it, just smiled and agreed that he was. The realization that he was serious sent a wave of panic through me, mixed with a faint, treacherous excitement. Still, my hands gripped the waistband of my pants tightly. I told him I thought of him as a good friend. Without looking up, Caleb easily pried my hands away, reasoning that since we were such good friends, helping each other out shouldn't be a big deal. Before I could say anything else, his mouth covered mine. My muffled protests slowly turned into sobs. In a fit of anger, I bit down hard on his shoulder. I yelled at him, telling him I was supposed to be the one on top. He just chuckled, promising we could do it again with me on top next time. The night was long, and this was just the beginning. After all, Caleb said it would be a shameful waste not to use all the boxes he had me buy. After a night of madness, my back ached. I looked at the arm wrapped around my waist, grabbed it, and bit down hard in frustration. Caleb hissed in pain, but, without a word, pressed me down again. He asked if I was trying to murder my husband. I offered him a polite smile and a 2-word reply, which was cut off as his mouth once again silenced mine. He was like a perpetual motion machine with no concept of rest. The next time he tried to start again, I was determined to refuse. Caleb's large hand massaged the back of my neck as he threatened to tell my father. At the mention of my old man, I hesitated, and in that moment of distraction, he pushed inside me again. My curses dissolved into endless whimpers. It was like Caleb had discovered my fatal flaw. Every time I tried to refuse, he would bring up my dad. Another round, or he'd tell Dad. Finish your plate, or he'd tell Dad. My eyes were swollen from crying. I accused him of being a daddy's boy, always bringing up his father. Caleb thrusted deeper, leaning down to kiss away a tear from the corner of my eye, and asked me to guess. When I was lucid, I tried to probe Caleb about our relationship, but I couldn't tell if he genuinely didn't understand or was just playing dumb. Either way, he never gave me a straight answer. It was a lie to say I wasn't disappointed. The next time I woke up, Caleb was gone. I grabbed my phone. It was already 8 in the evening. I spat viciously at the spot where he had been lying. The jerk runs off after he gets what he wants. As I struggled to sit up, my body sore all over, my phone lit up again. It was a message from the old man, my boss. He sent a picture asking if I thought they looked like a good match. The photo was of Caleb and a woman I didn't recognize. She was beautiful, exuding an air of extraordinary grace even in a still image. They were standing close, both smiling. Messages kept coming. He said that boy of his had finally found someone he liked, a Miss Sterling who was a really good person. He told me his son had said he wanted to settle things down soon. He then asked if I, after working for him for so long, had my eye on anyone, offering to play matchmaker. My heart felt like it was being squeezed by a giant hand, and I couldn't breathe. No, why should I be the one who couldn't breathe? Caleb was the scumbag. I couldn't let him ruin me and then go on to ruin some other girl. As luck would have it, the name of the restaurant was visible in the photo. I hailed a cab and headed straight there. As I got out of the car, I saw Caleb and Miss Sterling walking out, laughing and talking. Even though it was just the beginning of fall in the city, the night air was cold. A gust of wind made me shiver, and I belatedly realized that in my haste, I had only worn a thin, short-sleeved shirt. When I looked up again, Caleb was taking off his jacket and handing it to Miss Sterling. She accepted it with a smile. The cool air contrasted sharply with the fire raging inside me. Forgetting all decorum, I rushed forward and slapped Caleb across the face. Afterwards, I felt a twinge of regret. He was the boss's son after all. No, so what if he was the boss's son? A scumbag deserves to be hit. The more I thought about it, the angrier I got, and I slapped him again before he could react. Then, I turned to Miss Sterling and told her that Caleb was a total player and that she shouldn't believe a word he said or agree to get engaged to him. Miss Sterling looked bewildered, as if she had no idea what I was talking about. I wanted to explain further, but Caleb hoisted me over his shoulder. He apologized to her, saying he had to deal with a family matter and that his people would follow up with her about the business. Miss Sterling just smiled, indicating she didn't mind. All I could focus on was being so easily lifted by him again, and I thrashed around in protest. He dumped me in the back seat of his car, quickly getting in and locking the doors. I sat in angry silence, and Caleb drove without a word. I glared at his focused profile, wishing I could burn a hole through his back. When we arrived at his house, he got out first and opened my door. He told me to get out, as if I would listen to him. I stubbornly refused. He didn't argue, simply lifted me over his shoulder again. The moment I started to struggle, he swatted me hard on the butt. The warmth spreading across my rear end stunned me into silence. He warned me that he'd wanted to do that earlier but held back because there were people around, and if I moved again, it wouldn't be just a single swat. Understanding he wasn't joking, I went still. Seeing me behave, A small smile played on Caleb's lips. Inside, he placed me on the sofa and leaned over me. Our eyes met, and I saw a deep emotion swirling in his. I looked away, uncomfortable, but he firmly turned my face back to his. He demanded an explanation. An explanation for what? Caleb looked like he was about to laugh from sheer anger. He gritted his teeth, asking what I thought needed explaining after I'd publicly slandered him as a player. Seeing him acting like the victim, I punched his chest, my voice cracking with a sob as I spoke. I asked if he wasn't a player, sleeping with me and then going on a date with Miss Sterling. I told him I never wanted to see him again. Seeing my tears, Caleb seemed momentarily flustered. His fingertips wiped my tears away as his voice softened. He asked who told me he was on a date. He explained she was a business partner his father had asked him to meet with. Besides, he added, Miss Sterling was already engaged. If her fiancé heard what I said, it would be a real mess. My sobs stopped. Engaged? Caleb took out his phone and held it in front of me. The screen showed Miss Sterling's social media profile. Her background photo was of her kissing another woman. But the boss said you were going on a date, I mumbled. Caleb took my phone, unlocked it, and scanned my chat history with his father. He looked up at me, his expression clearly saying, "You're an idiot." Realizing I had wrongly accused him, and remembering the 2 slaps, I felt a surge of guilt. Caleb put on a cold, proud face and demanded compensation. Understanding his implication, I blushed and leaned in to kiss his cheek. The moment our lips touched, he took control, kissing me deeply. Just as things were escalating, the door opened. Caleb paid it no mind, but I glanced up and saw a familiar face. I reflexively shoved Caleb away. He stumbled and fell to the floor. I stammered an explanation to the newcomer. "Hey boss, I said we were just good friends having a heart-to-heart. Would you believe me?" It was a pathetic excuse. I wanted to slap myself. Who has a heart-to-heart like this? Caleb got up from the floor and pulled me into his arms. He spoke to his father, his tone annoyed. He told him to stop, that he was scaring me. The boss, fuming, sputtered that if it weren't for his help, Caleb wouldn't have gotten this far. He announced he was there to tell Caleb that now that he'd caught his man, it was time to take over the family business. He and his partner, Mr. Anderson, were going on a honeymoon, and Caleb needed to step up. Then, his expression softened as he looked at me. He said he knew I was a good kid, and if this brat of his bullied me, I should tell him and he would set things right. After that, the boss left with the handsome man from the doorway. I stood there, dumbfounded, pointing at their retreating backs. I asked what was going on with them. Caleb just stroked my cheek and sighed. It was from Caleb that I learned the whole truth. He had seen me in the bathroom a while back, jumping for joy after a promotion, and thought it was ridiculously cute. After that, he started using his father as an excuse to visit, creating chance encounters with me, but I was too focused on work to notice him. Then came the time I mistook him for my cousin's bully. He heard me say his father was homophobic, and seeing how scared I was of him, he decided to play along. The incident with the busted pipe was a deliberate trap. The night at the bar, he wasn't even drunk. When he came out of the bathroom shirtless, he had already figured out the most alluring angle. And his father? He wasn't homophobic at all. Caleb was his adopted son. The reason I thought he was homophobic was because I once saw that handsome man, Mr. Anderson, get kicked out of the boss's office. I heard the boss yelling insults after him, including shameless pervert. I'd heard from others that Mr. Anderson had a reputation in his younger days. After that, I carefully hid my own orientation, terrified I'd be the next one to be cursed out like that. After hearing all this, I slapped him again. I told him that I'd wondered on the day I was hospitalized how he, a guy who could take on 3 people, had let my 2 lackeys hold him down so easily. It was all an act. Caleb smiled and squeezed my hand, admitting he'd been planning this for a long time. He asked if he could finally get his reward, his hands starting to wander. I gasped, stopping his restless hands. I had one more question. Why did the boss yell at Mr. Anderson like that? Caleb gave me a cryptic smile, his hands resuming their exploration. He told me not to worry, that I was about to find out. I didn't understand, not until we moved from the sofa to the floor-to-ceiling window, and then to the bed, and Caleb still showed no signs of stopping. I couldn't hold back the curses any longer. Caleb, you shameless pervert.